Okay, I think everything's all set up, hopefully. Okay, let me get this down. Right, so I put it in Discord, but for anyone that didn't see, I don't know if anybody's even here yet. Been working on museums, and they look pretty okay. Took a while to get to this point where I'm somewhat happy with them. You can see there's like these little displays that have. This is going to be like the insect museum. Probably gonna have them separated by lots of different things. I'm not exactly sure, but one will be for insects. One will be possibly for geology type things, fossils and minerals and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out one day if I want to have like a separate one for birds or if I want to combine the birds with like all the other animals. I'm not really sure. There's other ones too. I just can't think of them all the top of my head. Let's get some of my notes open. Text is big. That's how big I left it. I guess that's fine. It's better for the stream. No, it seems too big. That's better. Right, so yeah, like a fish one, a plant one probably. Okay. I want somewhere to have like I don't know what necessarily the right terminology is, but like a plate of all the insects. So basically just like a grid of all the insects against like a white wall with like some like little tags underneath them, look like a nameplate of some sort that tells you the species name and stuff. And then I want to have obviously things inside these big glass boxes and the smaller glass boxes up there. And then different varieties inside these displays. This display isn't even done yet. I want to have more detail going on, especially in the background, like at least cover it with some foliage looking stuff instead of it just having like a gray background right now. And then the rotations aren't working on them, so they're always like facing as if they're facing this way for the interior placements, like the tree and the plant and the insects. So you can see that that's wrong, so that needs to take the orientation into account. Staircases don't work right now, you can see. Just haven't gotten around to that. Also, the door placement is not being updated. So like the door is still down here. So I need to do that as well. Let me put that in the notes. It might already be in here, but if it's not, that's okay. If it's there twice, it doesn't matter. Museums. Door placement. And that's not really just for museums. It's kind of just for indoor layouts in general, but we're specifically working on it today because of the museum. Also, you can see the lights are floating right now. I don't know if I just want to raise the lights up or change the model so the wire can be longer. I'm not really sure what I want to do with that. But first I'm going to work on the displays. I'm trying to figure out where I want to have this wall of all the species of insects. Like I want to have these nice little displays here, but somewhere I want to have just a grid showing you all the species. And it'll probably be very similar to Animal Crossing where you have to donate all the species, so they're not going to actually show up long term until you donate them. Right now I'll just have them all show up, just assuming you donated all of them, but hopefully by the end of this stream or one of the streams soon, it'll detect what you have donated to the museum. And we need some sort of NPC somewhere to talk to when you enter into the museum. I'm debating moving where the staircase is to the other side. That way there's more room to have an NPC in the middle when you first walk in. But we will see. Okay. Where do I want to put this wall? I can remove the display right in the middle here and put it here, but I don't know if that's tall enough. I can just walk up the wall right now because there's no colliders on. I can remove this back entryway and just have two side ones instead and have it here. I kind of like the idea of that. Or I can put it within the back room, which isn't bad. I might do that temporarily at least. Oh, and there's the culling issue where the room is one giant object and one giant draw call and one giant model. So it kind of, if you get away from like the center point of the model too far, the camera will think it doesn't need it and it'll call it away. But I could just turn off culling for the room. Matter of fact, let's just do that right now. It should be on the room model, I believe. So on this, we can just say this dot col is false because we're never going to want them to be cold anyway. And let's just verify that's the issue by going into console. And we have to get the room entity. Game dot, it's a game dot indoors layout editor dot room entity? No. Game dot world dot indoors dot room entity? Yes. Okay. And then we just want to put a call on there to false. And just before I put that in, we can just verify that it's broken, right? So if I stand about here, the camera thinks it doesn't need to be seen. If I set that, yes, perfect. So that fixes that. That's very good. Yeah, I think it should be fairly easy to move this display that I'm building. So I can put it anywhere I want. And then if I'm unhappy with it, I can just change the position and just move it wherever I want. So I'll put it on this back wall. Also, I have not shown you guys the updated layout editor. Last stream I ended it and it kind of was working, but I made a lot of improvements to it since then. So now I do move axis aligned like I was saying last stream. And I have like a cursor, even though it's a bit shitty. It's just this red block, but it works enough. And I can set things here. So if I say 26, which is the ID for, I need buttons instead of having to memorize IDs, but it doesn't really matter because the whole thing's going to be replaced with how it's done anyway. But 26 is for our lamps. And then I want to have another lamp in here because it's a bit dark on this back wall where I'm going to put the display. And I think that's all I have to do. And then just click add placement and then wait for the light map to update. Oh, that's right. I'm doing something weird. I'm going to change this, but I'm doing something weird right now with the lights, with how the lighting indoors works. So I need to increase the strength, otherwise you don't really see them. So I'm going to pass through a light opacity and light scale. Light scale might be fine. I think I'm making them a little bit smaller for this indoor layout. Let's try this now. Yes, okay. I think I'm gonna get rid of these lights. I'm gonna redo all these lights. And then I'm not really doing this all like symmetrical and everything. Maybe I happen to do it symmetrically, but not really caring about that right this second. Everything for the most part, I believe, outside of the rooms, like the little mini rooms, I'm pretty sure symmetrical other than the lights. At the time they weren't, but then I started working on it, and staircase is symmetrical now, all the displays and the columns and everything. All right, that's lit a lot better. So now I can just grab placements to clipboard, which right now is a really big string, which I don't want to be this long. Oh, I hate doing this on Windows too. I'm probably going to try to install Hackintosh one of these days. It's just going to take a lot of time and I'll probably fuck it up. Okay, so on this back wall, I'm going to have a grid of all of my insects. And I'm being a bit lazy about this until I know how I want to do this. So I have just a bunch of conditionals for different IDs. I know it's shitty, but we'll call this a species display. And I guess I'm gonna loop through. Well, we can get rid of most of this stuff, right? Matter of fact, I can get rid of pretty much all of this. I'll leave entities push because we're going to be pushing something to entities. However, it's going to be, we're going to grab this code, it's just spawning insects. And it's kind of way too many lines right now. I'm going to have to cut it down, but we're going to loop through that. I'm just going to write that for now just as a note because I don't know exactly what I need to go through. That's splicing them to the beginning. You know, it's probably fine. It's our insect entity. Instead of doing longhorn beetle, though, we need to loop through all of our types of insects. And then we'll probably have to say if donated for like each one and then have an empty spot there if it's not donated. But again, right now we're just assuming that they're all donated. And then I put a note somewhere. Yeah, it's generics by tag dot insect. That would get all of my insects by, right? I need to work more on my generics in the future because it's how I want to end up doing my engine long term. I just kind of started and then stopped and never continued it. But this should be at least all of the converted to the new ES6 class stuff insects. There's probably some other ones. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like it has most of them. But obviously we're gonna have more than 7 insects. One day, just right now we don't. Okay, so we're going to for var name in that, I guess. Actually, is that an array? That is an array. We can say name of, and that's probably fine because it's going to get the value itself, right? Okay, that will return all the insect names, and then here we can probably get away with just saying that a generic at name dot entity and entity properties. Rotation is hopefully fine. We're not changing the position at all though. So right now this is going to spawn them all in the exact same spot. Which is why maybe I do want to use I through here. Yeah, let's do that. For var I equals 0, I, yeah, we'll do it this way. There's a couple ways we can change how we write this loop, but this is fine. Var name is going to be this at index I. And then we're going to change the X and Y position, X and Z position with I. Since we only have 7 right now, I'm not sure how I want to do it. I kind of just want to put them all in a row, and that'll be fine. So I can just do X plus I. Maybe they shouldn't be a whole unit. Maybe I should make them, I don't know, half a unit. That might be too small though. I'm not sure how I'll do this. Maybe I'll have them so they're each have their own custom placement on the wall. We will see. Also right now they're still animating with their idle animation. I need which unfortunately also moves their legs around, which I don't really want. And for the butterflies flaps their wings slowly. So I will have a separate thing to handle display ones. I just don't have that yet. All right, so that's going to be for ID34. I should be able to just paste this in console and see how this looks without having to refresh anything. This is like a giant function that needs to be cut down. The way we're doing all these conditionals for each type of ID is ridiculous. It's just me being lazy. And I mean, it is lazy, but it's also just because I'm not really sure how I want to do this yet. I haven't planned it all out. This will probably work, but also probably spawn them down too low because my cursor is low, and it's probably going to spawn at my cursor height. Yeah, okay, good. That's great. That's really great. So I could, in theory, do something like this. Hey, Cypress, how you doing? Where, yeah, that works. It doesn't look like it's doing transparency correctly. Let me show you Cypress. I don't know if you saw on Discord or not, but working on museums. So this is our museum for insects that I've been programming. By the way, did you understand that thing with the whole making a grid of icon things? I can actually show you with this kind of just by chance, because I can do that with these insects. But did you understand it when I explained to you with the whole floor thing and the module thing? Thank you, Cypress, because if you want, I could take the time to explain it to you right now how it actually works. Because I know describing it in chat can be difficult sometimes. Oh, you understand? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear. All right, so this kind of works, but the transparency isn't. I think it's taking the transparency through the wall. So if we make it daytime, these dark edges are now turning into the whatever color sky is. If I I can either disable depth mask, that might work fine. I can also add them to sort of particles so they're the last draw. Let's do all of this, I guess. I really want to stop them from animating and have a proper model for the museum display one, but since we don't, I'll ignore it for now. I need way more insects than this. It kind of sucks that I only have like 7 in the generics ready to be modeled and everything. No problem, Cypress. Okay, so if I just refresh that, yeah, okay. So now the transparency works correctly, which is very good. I am curious what that's going to look like for the player. I need to put a little exit button here for exiting the layout editor so I can easily tell in the actual camera what everything's going to look like. I kind of want to model these out from the center, I guess, so we're not going all to the left or right or whatever. Also, these are going to be changing position based off their rotation, probably. Since right now I'm just assuming like either 0 or 180-degree rotation, it kind of works. So we're only changing on the x-axis. But we should be rotating them, but I just don't care right now because it's not important. So we can do I minus half of the length of this. Let's make a var list is this, and then change that here and here, and then here we're going to do I minus list.length divided by 2. We should just be able to do this. That'll work, yeah. I know this times one isn't doing anything right now, but I might change it so they're spaced out more or less than what they are. I might want to also base it off of the scale of the insect, if any of them are going to be over our minimum spacing, which I'm not sure if they will be or not. Okay, so that's out from the center now, so that's good. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's just add another row just to see what it looks like, even though they're the same exact models. I mean, that spacing's pretty shit, but... So if those weren't animating and if those were all different models, perhaps that would look better. I think I'm fairly okay with that. All right, let's do a placements to clipboard and put them in the placements array. Oh, that's for decor. Damn it. Did I overwrite that one before? I hope not. I don't think so. No, I think I'm okay. How close to center is that? I think it is. I think the lights are just off center. Yeah, it's, I think, exactly centered, actually. Even the lights aren't that far off from being centered. I'm going to put a grid down eventually as well, so I can tell what isn't centered and what is. They get cold a bit funny. I guess for just the ones respawning in the museum, I can probably pass through a coal property on them. Because normally it wouldn't matter that much, because if you were outside, there'd be so much like trees and foliage and grass and stuff that distance is probably the correct-ish distance to be using. It does seem a bit close though. But we can always change that for the outside world. But for the museum, since we don't have nearly as much going on and not as much being simulated or anything, it's okay to just have them all going at once. So that's going to be for ID 34. And then we can just pass through. I guess we could disable culling entirely or increase the cull distance. I don't know what I'd prefer. Also, in theory, we can instead just pass through something that says like museum display or something, or museum, something like that. And that'll handle more than just setting culling. It'll set the culling, it'll set the animation, it'll set all different types of things for us. But since I don't know how I want that to be in the future right now, all I know is I want to turn culling off on them. I could pass through museum just kind of as a reminder myself. It's not going to do anything. It'll just set that property, but it doesn't interpret that property in any way. But just to have that there, have that boolean to be able to check if they're a museum type display insect, and then use that accordingly in the future. Okay, so now if we update our placements and I go all the way back to the entrance, they shouldn't cull away now, hopefully. Good. Very good. Kind of almost want to randomize the order of them just so it looks better, but that would only be temporarily, just to make it look not so ordered, but that's not how it's going to be forever. It's just how it's going to be right now. Should I try to stop the animations on them? Probably. It's particularly bad on the butterfly and moth type insects. The other ones, even though they still are moving and it's still bad, it's not quite as bad. So what is going up? What is up with that texture? That's weird. You can see through the shell. I guess because of that depth mask thing. Shit. Yeah, let's get rid of the depth mask. And just have it so they're under sorted particles, so they draw pretty much at the end. I'll leave them there commented out just in case I want them, but I'm pretty sure I'm not, because since those are Blender models, the way it's getting exported, I guess if I were more careful, I might be able to get away with it. If I made sure the faces were exported in the right order, then I'm not exactly sure if it'd be the shell first or the wings first, but either way, it'd be some sort of correct order, and that would help with things, but it's not really best long term anyway, because it might affect its flying animation and stuff. It'll help with the museum, but it might affect it other places. Okay, yeah, it's a lot better. And it still looks like it's using the right transparencies. I can't tell what the outside world is. It's dark right now. Okay, let's make it bright. I'm just gonna have a camera like that so I could see down here and see the wings. Pretty sure it's working though. Is that not the sky I'm looking at? Oh, the sky was being cold. I don't really want that. I guess it doesn't matter because there's no windows in this room, and there probably won't be. But in theory, I should turn off culling on the sky as well, since it's it's not really the true skybox that we're using in the outside world. It's a much smaller version of it. And I mostly did that so it'll look better, so you see the gradient more through the windows. You don't see it so much in the museum, but in other shops where the windows are lower down, you see the gradient of the sky a lot better than you would as if it was the actual skybox. Okay, I think that's a good start. I want to have little little name plaques underneath each one. I can just like spawn a little cube or plane there as a test and then eventually make some sort of model for it. Let's look at that. I guess I'd do a separate entity for it. That seems a little excessive. Doesn't really matter though. I mean, right now, so far we haven't hit like any sort of cap on how many draws and polygons and everything and entities and draw calls that we're doing indoors, just because it's a fairly small area compared to outside. Even though the museums are quite big, it's still a fairly small area compared to the entire world we're rendering outside. So I can be pretty liberal about how much shit I'm placing down, and it doesn't seem to be too bad. All right, let's just try this out, I guess. And these shouldn't have to be sorted at all, so these could just be a regular entity that gets pushed. Paste this in. We'll just call this the nameplate, I guess. And in theory, I can just do an entities push right away. And not name it as its own variable, but maybe we want to change something with the update function and stuff on it. I do want to have it so you'll be able to walk up to this. There'll be some sort of button show up like somewhere, I don't know, below or above it, and then you just like, you know, click that button and then it zooms into each one for us, like something like that. Hopefully zooming into the point where you don't see the shitty low resolution texture on it and you just see it well. But I want to zoom one after one, or an entire row or something. Maybe I'll model them per row. So then it, you know, starts at the top one and then goes down to each one with a zoomed in camera of it. All right, so it's going to be X, Y, Z. On the Y, we're going to move them down a tiny bit, but like not a whole lot, very little. Let's try 0.33. Well, are they a whole unit separated? I think they are right now. Yeah, they are. So let's do 0.75, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't have this all as one line compressed down. That's not too long. Okay. I'll make this a cube. We really do want to have its own model on this, but since we don't yet, let's just write some BS. So it'll be a scale. We're not accounting for rotations yet, but that's okay. It's fine by me. So the width is going to be, I don't know, about 0.33. The height will be like 0.1, and the Z will be about 0.1. The rotation, actually the rotation's fine then. For the most part, it's just the positions that we're placing that won't be fine with the rotation. So we'll grab this bit here. Oh, and I also want to change the color on it. We're going to make like a dark gray thing. Again, this won't be actually passed through once we have a proper model for it, but this is just like a test thing. Let's try, that might be too bright. But I don't know what I want them to look. Maybe I want them to have white nameplates. I don't know. I hate scrolling in Windows. I wouldn't have to scroll if I didn't have such giant functions that actually separate them out and made them good, but lazy. All right, so if we just update this, yeah, that's kind of what I want. They're a little bit lower than I was expecting, but that's basically what I wanted. And then when I have an actual model for it, well, it might be a little bit bigger than that, what I actually want, but I'll also have like some like fake looking little text on it, you know. And they are technically 3D, even though you don't really notice it because there's no shading on them at all. The color, I'm fine with it for now. All right, let's not bring those down as much. Let's do 5.5. Is there like a way I can just do a keyboard shortcut to jump to the beginning? Yeah, there's totally a way to do that in Sublime. I just don't usually do it because it's not usually necessary. But like basically jump up the like nested areas, right? So like that's a nested area, jump to that parent, then that parent, then that parent. There's go to. Jump back and forward. I don't think that's what we want. Scroll to section, line up, line down. Jump to match bracketing. Control M. Oh, that's just to flip between. I want to go like to parent bracketing. Alt minus. No. Well, there's probably some sort of plugin, if it's not built into Sublime, that I will definitely want one day, because it's a pain in the ass with these giant functions to paste them in the console like this. Ideally, actually, what I'd be able to do is not even jump to, just select. Yeah, leave your cursor alone, and as you press it, select each nested area, each bracketed area. So if I press, whatever, like Control B or whatever, it selects this much, or something like that, or this much. And then if I press Control B again, then it selects this much, and then so on until it gets to the topmost parent. I just want to install something like that, but I don't know what to call it. Let's just search like bracket selection or something. Bracketeer. Some bracket manipulation, selection, and insertion commands. Bracket slasher, bracket guard, bracket highlighter. Let's try bracketeer. Does it not give me an installed tab open where it tells me about it? That's weird. Did it actually install bracketeer? Yeah, it does. Select inside braces. Let's try that again. But there's no keyboard shortcut on right now. It doesn't go up another parent. Oh, maybe it does. It moves the cursor on a little bit more than I want it. But that kind of does what I want. And then it should stop there. Okay, cool. We just need to put a keyboard shortcut on that. How do I do that? Key bindings, but I don't know how to actually use that. Is it a command? Can I just, like, first of all, is Control B a thing? Yes. Toggle. So, but that's if you do Control K, Control B in that order, and toggle sidebar. Control B is build. But it'll overwrite it, right, if I put it in here. So let's like grab this, put this in here, and then I have no idea if this will work, but basically just call it as, so what was it? It was select. So can I just like put that in there? So I'd have to type out all of that. I can't copy that easily, I guess. And I'm guessing it's probably case sensitive. I can probably copy that, right? Okay. Bracket tier. I don't think this will work. I don't think it's as easy as this, but if it is, so that's gonna be on Control B. Now if I did this, no, I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna have to research how to set up commands like that. Arguments. Why can't that just work? Is there a settings thing for bracketeer? Bracketeer. I want a keyboard shortcut for that. Ideally, there'd be like a select parent most braces instead of having to click it multiple or press it multiple times, but it's not that bad. I don't know what any of this is. It's part of package control, so it's not going to be as simple as this, is it? Here's bracketeer, but that's not like the settings file. That's like the file for the actual thing. All right, that's unfortunate that I don't know how to do that, but I guess I want to at least comment this line out so it doesn't like fuck anything up. Maybe I just have to restart Sublime and it'll work, but I kind of doubt that. Is there like a... Oh, there's a selection thing here. Oh, look at that. It's already built in. Control Shift M. I can just change that. I was just under the wrong thing. Hold on. So it's Control Shift M. And it does basically do what I want, but not as well as bracketeer, because you have to be careful about how many times you press it. And like unselects, then selects, unselects, then selects. So, and then if you, so now everything that I want is selected, but if I press it again, I lose it and it kind of stops. But it's not that bad. I wonder if it jumps your cursor position around or not. It doesn't, which is kind of a good thing, but also kind of a bad thing. If I can just make it do the parent most one, then I'd be happy with it, or just keep pressing until it stops. But when it reaches the end, it doesn't, it just gets rid of it. Control Shift Space. Indentation, Control Shift J. Maybe Control Shift J will be better. Ooh, yeah. I like that. Okay, Control Shift J is where it's at. I don't really like holding all those keys down, but if I find that now, Shift plus J, and if I put this in the user side and I make it, I don't know, Control B, I guess. Control B? Yeah, Control B is probably fine. And then put this in here. Oh, that's nice. Yes, that's so much better. Now I don't have to scroll through shit all the time. Okay, very good. So, what was I doing? I wanted to move them up. Did I do that? I think I did. So now Control B a few times. Gets the parent most one. Hopefully it's not selecting everything in the whole file. Okay, good. It's not. Wait, but I also want to make sure it's not doing the... Shit, it might be stopping. It's stopping one before where I want it. Damn it. It's not doing this part. God damn it, it's so close. So the only way that would work is if I tab the whole section over. If I tab the entire file over, well, will that work? I think it will. Let's no, maybe that won't even work. All right, I'm wasting time on this, but it would be so nice if it worked. So this scrolling is bullshit. I need to put an end to it. I mean, yeah, I can also clean up my function so it's not so fucking long. Whoops. Damn it. And then if the one that did work, but you have to be careful about how much you select and doesn't leave it selected, is expand to brackets. Try scope, Control Shift Space. I don't think that one worked. We tried that. Oh, it almost worked. So if I do Control B, no, that one never works. Control Shift Space. It's a lot slower because there's more to do, and then it does do it, but then if I press it too many times again, I kind of lose it. God damn it, why can't this be easier? There's got to be a plugin for this, I just don't know. To tag, Control Shift A. No. I don't know the right plugin to install for it. Paragraph kind of almost works. There's no shortcut for that, but I can probably add one. Huh, why does that work so well? It's not even text that we're working with. Holy shit, that works really well. Wait, no, it doesn't. It stops at line breaks. Damn it. All right, there's got to be a plugin, but I just don't know it, so whatever. I will work on that off stream. I don't want to waste everybody's time. Unfortunately, I waste everybody's time scrolling through this shit. Put the conditional higher up as well, so I don't have to scroll as much, but just figured there'd be some sort of nice plugin. All right, that's quite a bit better with the nameplate placement. Still might be a bit low, but depending on the insect model, it might get a little close. Like ones that are getting a little bit close is the spacefish swallowtail with the little swallowtail on it, the little hanging out bits. It's still not that close, but again, depending on the scale and shape of the insect, it might be too close eventually. Let's try 4 or 5 though. All right, that's pretty good. I'm still gonna search on the plugins. Install package. I search brackets. Let's search braces. Indent braces, indent selection, and wrap and braces. No, bracket flasher. This is like the same shit. It's searching bracket because the word brace. It's doing a fuzzy search. The letters brace are within bracket. Expand selection to quote it. Select until. Expand selection to white space. Expand selection to function JavaScript. All right, that's pretty much what I want. I don't know to put keyboard shortcuts on all these, but okay, that's already on Alt up, which is I guess not that bad. Cool. Does it move my cursor around? Let's see. Frozeable. The fuck? Why? Okay, it's slow as shit, but I guess it works. Why is it so slow? I just want to make sure it selected everything the right way. All right, I mean, it's still faster than me scrolling around, I guess. Didn't seem as slow when I did it here. Oh no, I guess it still is. Why is it so fucking slow? All right, you know, it's fine. It's faster than scrolling, and it keeps my place, and it's nice. It takes like 3 whole seconds to select it, but it's an improvement. Let's see if there's another one out there. I'm just gonna call it select function. Now, the thing that kind of sucks about it is I still wish it was a little bit more flexible and generic than function, because sometimes they're not functions. Sometimes they're like giant objects and stuff that I want to select. I just want to select the parent most. Install select all by current scope. just gonna install a bunch of shit until it's what I want. Okay, well that doesn't fucking work at all. What the fuck? Oh, that's weird. It kind of works, but not as at all how I was expecting. Wait, how is that even current scope? Is that? I guess it is. Oh shit, that's weird. Wow, that's really interesting. I don't think I like that. I don't think I'll ever have much of a use for that. But damn, that's kind of cool. Wow. That's a really interesting. All right. Well, I'll do the select all by function. It's alt up. It works fairly well. It's just for some reason really really slow, but it's faster than my current method. I guess I'll leave all those plugins installed until I decide otherwise. Also, sometimes I have to do multiple functions. But most of the time, I guess I'm doing. At least right now, I'm only doing one, so it's not that big of a deal. But this looks okay. It's not that bad. I might do the spacing similar to my inventory, so they're kind of like honeycomb pattern dish. When we have all of ours ready to go, just to test that out. Although, excuse me, right now the delete placement kind of sucks. I kind of only want to add them and not delete them because it's gonna delete too many. Whoops. Whatever. We can redo it. It doesn't take long to do. Yeah, I think that's a bit cooler. Oops. Obviously wouldn't have the one sticking out on the edges, right? Because it's not like symmetrical. But it's not bad. It's kind of cool. How it would go through the grid though, I'm not exactly sure. I guess it would just go like diagonally. Zigzaggy. Yeah, I guess that would work. Alright, that's kind of cool. I need to work on these displays. Now I have to figure out how I feel about their brightness. They're kind of dark. These ones are not so bad. There's several ways I can adjust their brightness. And the possibly easiest one I want to try, so I think that's for 32, is just add a lighting uniform to them. Var lighting. This will be full lighting. I'm really not sure how I want to do this yet. But let's just see if we pass through this on each and every one of these. I'm not really sure how I want to do this. I guess like this. Just to see if this is even what we want. So then it's Alt up, right? And then wait like 3 seconds. Alright, that's not too bad. Paste this in. Alright, let's see if this even uses the lighting correctly. So this should brighten the hell out of this. Probably way too bright. Oh, okay. I mean, it is a bit too bright, but it's not that bad. It's surprisingly good. it looks lit up now, but you know, in a way, the displays would be a little bit lit up. The glass, I don't know if I want lit up. So we'll just take it off just the glass, which is this one. Let's try just that. I still think they're probably too lit up. I'll change the lighting variable to not be full 1. It'll be like 0.8 or something. But maybe just changing the glass is enough. It's not bad. I kind of like it. Oh, and the frame we don't want lit as well. It's kind of good. I mean, the background kind of looks like shit, but that's like my fault. Maybe it shouldn't be quite so bright. Maybe we should do like 0.9 or so. Try 0.9. Oh, man, that plugin is slow. That's so weird that it would be that resource intensive just to select a fucking function. Not randomized, delete placement. Alright, I guess that is darker. Yeah, that is a little bit darker. I don't know what I prefer, but it's probably better than what we had. Now, if we just make this, let's just make this undefined for a second to compare it, having no lighting on them, since it's hard to remember what it looked like. All right, so let's test this out. Yeah, that's better. Full 1 wasn't even bad though. I might just test out like all 3 over and over until I know what I feel. Excuse me. You know, that's probably good. I'm not even going to test 1 again. We could always come back in the future. It's a bit difficult to tell still with that shitty background. Now I can go into Blender, or I don't know how I want to model it exactly, but I can go into Blender, or I can change how I'm modeling it in the engine. So for the most part, this is mostly in engine. The tree and the corpse lily and the bugs are in engine, but the grass and like the general background is done in Blender right now. Oh, and I have these lights inside to brighten them up, but let's get rid of those because now I'm brightening them other ways. And it hopefully won't affect it from the outside. It shouldn't too much. It really shouldn't like at all because the lighting was so strong on it before. It changes a little bit on the outside. You know, it's probably okay. Maybe we'll have a point light here. Let's try a point light here, just to see what this looks like. It's probably too bright because it's next to other lights, but maybe we'll move the other lights around. But let's do one so it's centered with this, and I guess centered this way as well. I think that's about centered. Oh, fucking light seem to be brightened inside the museum for some reason. I mean, that still looks kind of cool, but there's no point light showing up on the ground. It has the particle for it, but that's it. And it looks very dim inside there. Yeah, it could pass through this. We definitely don't want to be doing this long term, because it takes up a lot of extra space in the placements layout thing. But if I delete this one and then add this, I mean, that's very bright, But if I didn't have these lights placed exactly where they were, it would tone it down quite a bit. I kind of want to have one centered here. I don't know what the center point is because I didn't do my grid yet. Let's see if this will be too close. It's not that bad. I wonder how centered that is. It might be a little bit too off to the corner. In fact, that's actually not bad. That's actually kind of correct. Okay, cool. Let's try to light this side up correctly then. In theory, this one's actually fairly correct. And then if we do one centered with this one, which I think is right here. Okay, and then another one over here. And then get rid of this one. Okay. That's kind of lit nicely. Again, like they either need to be raised up or the wire for it hanging down needs to be made longer, but that's lit pretty nice. And it almost makes you want to try a more bright interior again with that, like with the full one brightness. Yeah, let's try that. So that was here. Since it's so much brighter out front now, let's pass through a brighter interior as well. So we're going to be looking at inside here to get brighter when I click this now. Okay, it's a little bit brighter. I can make it even brighter too. It doesn't, we can go above 1, but I don't think it's that necessary. You know, I think that's pretty fine. I think the colors I chose in Blender for the grass are a bit shit. Really, all the colors I chose in Blender were a bit shit. I could also make the glass slightly shinier or more opaque. Just so you see it a bit more. It's not that bad though. It's a bit of like reflection type stuff going on in the shader. It's not like true reflections, but just like a bit of like shine across it. Similar to like, hopefully you can see on the glass panels here. There's just a bit of like shine moving around with the camera. But I could always tweak those shaders to look a little bit nicer. All right. I think I want to open up Blender. I think it's this one. I have, 2.8 and 2.79 installed. I have like 2.79 more. Yeah, okay, here we go. I really have to clean up my Dropbox because it's like shit, but all right, what would that be called? It's like the museum display inset thing or something. I want this to open up in the right Blender, damn it. I hate Windows. Why can't you just do that? Is this going to open in the wrong Blender? Yes. Fuck off. Alright, if I do file open, then it might work if I drag it in. No? Why? That should... Windows fucking sucks. I just need to uninstall 2.8. I don't want to because I want to have it installed. I just don't want it to be the default one when I open up Blender files until I'm ready to use it. Fuck, so now I gotta do like open with. I don't even know. I gotta like find it installed somewhere. Can I like drag the shortcut? No, it's gonna move it to my program files. I don't want that. Fuck off. Can I drag it here? No. Why is Windows so fucking terrible? Alright, if I go to desktop, there. Holy shit. Fucking Windows. I hate it more than, and it's still been in 2.79. What the fuck? Did I click on the wrong shortcut, or is it just that shitty? I mean, 2.8. Did I say 2.79? Just want to edit my fucking file. Alright, let's try this again. Hold on. Why would that not work? Open with more apps. And then if I select the shortcut on my desktop to 2.79, which is this one, I click on this one to open 2.79. Open. Open to 2.8. What the fuck? I don't want it to be 2.8. This is Blender's way of forcing me to get used to the new interface. So now I have to like search for this file in Blender because everything sucks. All right, so now I gotta do like that. I guess that's fine. I just like to use Windows Explorer because I hate Blender's interface. Maybe I should be using 2.8 because I hate 2.79's interface as well. I'm just used to the keyboard shortcuts. I know there's a way to enable the old ones. Okay, that's not the right file. Okay. Fucking finally. Alright, so I don't really like the colors that I chose. So if we go to Vertex Paint, I guess that's a fine way to look at it. I made the greens to desaturate it. And it's making everything look like shit. Now how do I actually want to do this? I'm not really sure. I guess we'll vertex paint this. We'll get a nice vertex color. It's hard to know the right green to choose, but hopefully that's a lot better. I'm going to change the way I was painting this entirely. I kind of just want to do paint the whole thing solid. Ooh, but then you might not see. So difficult to paint this the way I want to paint it. I can try this. It might be an improvement at least. Hopefully I didn't paint the bottom ones too much. But I do kind of want the bottom one a different color because it's still like that really shitty desaturated color. And the background in general, I think I want it to be more green. So I guess I just have to like recolor this whole thing, which is a pain. And the whole not painting through back faces is pretty annoying. This would make the bottom too solid in color though. We could try it out. I don't think it'll work out well, but since there's enough other things in the display, it might break it up enough that it's okay. Let's try painting that, and then maybe the tops we want to make lighter of the grass. Maybe that'll work out. Might look cool. Yeah, it might not be bad. If I look at an object mode with texture, although it's not using the right texture here, so now we gotta go to UV editing and grab everything and then apply the right texture. I don't know how to get that to work between computers and Dropbox, so it actually has the right texture attached to it. That's our static texture. So now if I looked at this in object mode, texture, yeah, there we go. But it needs to be shadeless. And this is half the brightness it's going to look in the game, in the engine. All right, that's pretty good. I messed up some of the vertex colors, but it's not bad. So if we go back to default and vertex paint, there we go. And then go back to this view and paint this all in solid. Is that right? No, that is not right at all. Like that, there we go. And then I fucked up down here somehow. Whoops. Just want just this selected. And then up here, I want like probably an entirely different color for up here, but I'm not sure what color. I don't know if it should be getting lighter or darker or what. That's kind of what I'm going for. We select everything, make sure it's all blending in correctly, which it looks like it is. Okay, I think those will be better colors in the game. But I also want to make a better background. And we want to, I mean, like in real natural history museums, you know, they fake the depth and they have like, you know, like a painting or whatever on the back wall, and then they try to scale things down and make it so you perceive more depth than there actually is. So try to do something like that. It's going to not be the easiest thing. Guess we'll go to edit mode. Let's just add some more of these quads, but instead of making them grass, we'll like add some shrubs to the background or something. I'm not really sure. Let's look at like just that. So it'd be like really tall grass. It's not really what I'm going for. But if we grab that and we change the UVs on it, to something a bit bushier. I need to make better textures. What is my regular ferns using? Because I don't see it on here, but it definitely should be here. I have this one, which I'm using for some of the more rainforesty ferns, even though I don't really like that texture. And then I should have another texture somewhere on here that I'm not finding. Oh, maybe the opacity's faded on it on static full opacity. That is the opposite of what I wanted. And that's not the texture at all. Okay. I guess I'll use... Am I using that texture? I feel like I'm missing something. The fuck texture am I using for the other? Maybe I am using that one. Really didn't think I was. I guess that's okay. You know what? It's probably fine. I mean, we could always change it later on. I thought I had better texture for this, but either I'm blind or I don't know. I mean, sometimes I make them very low opacity because the shader in game handle that fine, and sometimes better. But I would have thought I'd be able to at least see like a faint outline of it then. And it should be this texture. It shouldn't be a different texture. Alright, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Let's go back to default. Let's try to make something that looks a bit shrubby. I want to change where my pivot point is to be down there. And then we're going to rotate off our 3D cursor. Whoops. Yeah, something like that. I mean, like I was saying before, I can also use the models that we use in-game for this instead of modeling them in Blender, which might be the better idea to do, but I don't know. It's so hard to fucking do this. Blender, please. Fucking piece of shit. Alright, so we need a backface on that to make it look good. I can make these like way higher poly so we can like curve them around and stuff. And maybe I should be doing that. I don't really want to do too many polygons and waste them, but maybe they can be slightly higher poly than this. Let's make this one a quad. Let's do some loop cuts on it. Do one here. And let's do some loop cuts. Whoops. I hate the keyboard shortcut for loop cuts so much. Why? Oh, fuck off. Alright, what if we just like bend this down now? Can we do that? Oh, I'm regretting this so much. Where is my 3D cursor? Why? Because it's a backface? Is that why? I guess because it was through backfaces and didn't like that. That might look kind of cool, actually. We do have to be careful about where we place these because there's like that corpse lily here and that tree here. I can't really put. I'm probably putting too much depth on them. I should be faking it more because you know we are in a very limited space. It does look much nicer with that 3D curve on them. I'm just gonna get rid of the flat ones. Hopefully I can just add a lot more depth to this somehow. I think that's like kind of working. I'll have to put back faces on all of these, but that's okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. Whoops. Don't want to do that. Maybe even have some climb up the walls a little bit, especially from the sides where you can't see out as much. That may look kind of cool. I think that will look cool. Yeah, I think that will be nice. Let's turn off backface culling for a second. This will work out. I mean, it's just a little bit tedious to get it to look nice, but I think it'll work out in the end. All right, now I want to like select all this. How many triangles is 250? It's not terrible. I guess I want back faces on all of those, I guess. Kind of want on these ones for them to grow a bit taller. Why is that not selecting the whole thing? What the fuck? What the fuck? There's like some weird doubles or some shit going on there. Alright, let's try that once more. Rotate this up. Scale it. There we go. That's what I was going for. Maybe rotate it around. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, I have like weird doubled up shit going on, don't I? Whoops. Well, the tree will probably be blocking a lot of this, but even if it's just seen a little bit, I think that's a good thing. These ones won't need back faces, the rest will. I mean, they might be a bit higher probably than they should be, but it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Hopefully we'll find out, but it shouldn't. I think it's a little cool. And as we have more entities and plants for the rainforest, I could have like, you know, like a bromeliad or something coming out from the corner or off a tree or something. All different types of things. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Have like a spider hanging down from the top. Something we could do. We could do all different types of things. All right, I guess I want to select all of these now. I'm not really sure what the best way for that's going to be. I kind of think I should just select everything and deselect the ones I don't want, because the majority of the faces now are these leaves. I shouldn't need to do a backface on that and that and that. The rest, I probably want them on. Ooh, is there a bit of grass in there? There is. Doesn't really matter a whole lot, but if I can. There we go. All right, let's just double up on these. I should make some vertex groups for this. And I also should do or remove doubles before I do this. All right, yeah, let's, how do I make vertex groups again? Vertex group, add, assign, and we'll call this group Fern Backfaces. All right, we'll flip the direction of these. We'll remove all the doubles, I think. Moves 45. Let's keep backface calling on and look at this in texture view. Oh, fuck. Okay, these need to be recalculated. And then they all need to be flipped. Okay, that's better. And then now if I select all my Fern backfaces, all these ones, now I can duplicate and then flip that direction. Or I can just turn backfaces on. You know what? Let's just turn backfaces on the model. Yeah, I may already have backfaces on the model, in fact. Let's check. I do not, but I will. That's the better solution. All right. That's kind of cool. I do want to make the background fuller though, so like just instead of having 2 plants, I want to just have like, I guess some little rogue bits. I don't know how I want to do it. Why the fuck am I pressing all the wrong things in Blender? That's the problem with the backface thing. Is I still want to view this with backface calling most of the time because otherwise the roof gets in my way. I keep pressing extrude instead of rotate. Motherfucker. All right, hopefully this ends up looking good. I still need like things going on up here towards the background, so it looks like there's trees off in the distance or something. These ferns might not look great, but maybe they will. Maybe this will all look nice. Put the frame on for a second. Okay, that kind of tells me this one is rotated in a kind of bad way. But that's like I could just move just that one, I guess. I was gonna move the whole group, but maybe it's best to just move that one. And it's okay if it clips through the side of the wall because you won't see that really. Okay. I guess I should just try this out in the engine and see how terrible this looks. How many triangles? 442. I'm going to remove doubles again in case I did something stupid. And I'm going to triangulate. Maybe even do a limit as well because some of the triangles that we have might be higher detail than we need. And limit dissolve, we'll just get rid of some of that. Whoops. 436. Okay, whatever. Why did that do weird shit with the transparency? What the fuck? Why? Doesn't really matter, but still, why? What? Like, change the draw order of things, I guess, when I did that. So now this is not first, and I don't know how to edit that in Blender. I don't think Blender has good tools for changing like the order of faces and shapes and stuff. It doesn't matter. It just makes it look uglier in Blender. It makes it harder for me to know if this is modeled good or not. I suppose what I could do is just like grab another one of these. Would that even work? Shit, no, it won't. Blender, why do you suck so much? Alright, export it, PLY. And then that's, I guess, museum inset display, sure. And then if we go into this, grab all this data, open up the giant file that I don't have open. Okay, this is for the display inset thing. It's gonna be all the way at the bottom. Just go to the end. There we go. It's probably this one. I'm pretty certain of that. I should change the name of it so I can be certain, but it's okay. So if I just paste, what the fuck? Okay, there we go. If I just paste this in console and buffer the model again, it should update it for me. Go into here, buffer model. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so there's a couple areas that need to be tweaked. Like that leaf there is coming through the corpse lily. I kind of didn't realize how big of an area that corpse lily was taking up, but that's okay. We can edit that. It fills in the background fairly nice. I still think I want to do some tweaks. The color is pretty good. Maybe a bit bright, but overall pretty good. I should be able to alter those. I think I like it actually, but I should be able to alter them fairly easily in Blender. It's pretty good. I like how that's popping out of the side. I like this one too, but it's like kind of too full. Oh, and also back faces aren't on them yet. Hold on, we can fix that. This will look even better, hopefully. All right, so that's for 32 in merchant. Okay, it's our museum inset display. And then where we have our display, we're just going to set back faces to true. And then Alt up to select everything. And then paste this in. And then if I delete something somewhere there isn't anything to delete, I'll just rebuffer it. Okay. Yeah, so that looks a bit better over here. Again, it's still coming in through too much to the corpse lily, but other than like those one or two shapes, it's kind of cool. Kind of like it. I want to have like vines hanging down and stuff. I want to do a lot of other things, but we will get to that. And now that I don't have those faces doubled up, it's a lot easier to select these. So how do I want to go about this? Just raise it up, and that's actually probably a good thing because the whole thing needs more depth anyway, or more height. So that was down there, now it's up there. That should be high enough. I'm gonna raise it a tiny bit more and maybe even rotate it out a little bit. Even though the whole back races thing makes it pain in the ass. That might be an okay thing to do. Just trying to make that not so vertical and samey looking. Oh, it's so annoying that Blender fucked up the order of these things and now it looks like shit. Oh, how do you make transparencies better in Blender? I gotta like make custom shaders in Blender. I just don't really know how. But oh, it'd be so much better. I can have them be the right colors. Nobody's really watching. But if anybody were watching, anybody know how to make custom shaders? 'Cause I know you can click like GLSL, right? So in theory, with the GLSL, you can write a GLSL shader for it, right? How do you do that? Because I know how to write GLSL shaders. I just don't know how to put them into Blender, the right Blender way of doing it. But that's totally something I want to do. I would be able to improve this view so much. I gotta figure out how to do that one day, soon. Let's grab a couple of these faces and do more of them coming from the side. Why is everything always getting doubled up? Okay. Can try that. Remove doubles continually until... Okay, it didn't remove any that time anyway, so it should be okay. Grab all this. I guess I should compress these, but I guess in theory, if I write my compressor well enough, I can grab this whole entire file and compress it basically in one go, if it could handle that much, and then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, maybe they should be getting a bit darker on top to match the gradient. But other than that, there's still a little bit of clipping. Where is that clipping coming from? Oh, I guess it's technically not clipping. It's just, well, clipping a little bit there. A little bit there. And then this one isn't clipping. It's just on top of it. But I don't really like it on top of it. I'd rather have a clear view. So, still needs a little bit of fixing up here. So that's the one that's on top of it. If I rotated that out, I may not mind as much. Oh, it's also up, but that's probably an okay thing to do. And then this back one, and that's most of my issue. It's just that little bit of clipping right there. It's hard to even know exactly what it's coming from, but I guess these faces. Yeah, it'd be nice to have like a gradient over the top, or just I guess darken them over as they go up. What's the best way to do this? We just grab vertex paint. How stupid will this be? Just get a darker color up here and turn our strength way down, our radius. I want to be able to paint through faces. Is there a good way to do that in Blender so it doesn't like, I guess that kind of works. There's going to be like weird triangles that it misses out on. That's what the weird accent was that. I guess I don't want to be painting the back thing. Yeah, just something like that. But I'm guessing it's missing triangles. Yeah, like those. That's why I wish there was like a paint through method, which maybe there is, but I don't know how to do that in Blender. Like a see-through paint thing. Kind of like, you know, when you press Z to get through all the mesh, like that, but for vertex painting. Maybe this? I doubt it. Maybe. No. I mean, I can manually clean up those ones and it won't be that bad. But I really just want to be able to just paint like that, have a nice darker top layer, and to paint through all the vertices that it's missing. Something like this. Okay, so now I'd have to like, well, I can do a smooth vertex, which will help on a lot, but before I do a smooth vertex, I want to like find the bits that I am missing and somehow fix them. It's not easy at all though. And now that whole face is going to be darker than it should be. All right, maybe I just want to do a smooth vertex on it and that's it. I guess that's fine. It shouldn't matter a whole lot on these grass things, but I don't really want to do the grass ones since they're not affected by this. And even the bottom ones in general aren't affected by this. It's really just the top ones that we're working on. So I'll try to deselect as much of this as possible. Okay. Basically those ones. I think there's still one back there that's selected that doesn't need to be, but I can't get it, so it's okay. Alright, let's try to do smooth vertex colors on it. And look at it in object mode, texture. It's doing weird shit. Alright. I gotta write my own GL cell shaders to really show this correctly, but since I can't let's just export it and try it out. So everything up here now should be getting a lot darker once I grab this model. Okay. All right, that's a lot better. It's still kind of bright, but it is better. I mean, we do want it to be, you know, we do want it to look like a rainforest at least, so it's like not that bad. It's kind of good. I should put like another tree in there. Maybe I will do that. Even if it's the same tree, just like rotate it and scale it around. I should just push that right away. Why am I not doing that? Is there a reason for that? Is it because of the order of the insects? I'm not sure. I can move this down though, if the order matters. I don't think it does, but I'll move it down anyway, just in case. And we'll just overwrite entity tree again to have another one. But this one will be rotated differently on the y-axis. So math.pi times, I don't know, 0.3, whatever. Just have a different rotation on it. And then position, we're going to move it a little bit over here-ish. This might get away some of the leaves that I made, but that's okay. So it's going to be, with scaling, it's going to be a bit interesting, but we'll figure that out. But we want to do X. I guess it would be positive, yeah. So we want to take away from this -1. So we'll make it like, just make it plus 0.1. That'll put it, no, I'll do minus 0.1. That'll put it about here-ish. The Z, we want to bring it back on the Z more. Kind of as far as we can get without it going through the thing. Let's try that. The scale, we want to bring the scale down on it. I think I want to leave the Y scale alone for the most part. So we'll do like 0.4 on the X and Z. 0.3. It's a little bit less than half the scale that it was at, because it was at 0.65 on all three axes. Or I can do Alt up to not have to make my life as miserable. Okay, paste this in, and let's see how terrible this looks. Not bad. Not bad at all. Maybe I want more of those. It's clipping with the grass a little bit. It's kind of cool. Maybe I want to have another one over here, but like a little bit diagonal. But it's going to clip with those things too much. Maybe I'll have one here. Maybe. Let's try another tree. And we'll bring it forward. I'll leave the scale pretty big, but we'll bring it forward. Also, I'll change the rotation on it. So we'll do negative math.pi times 0.3. Before we did positive, now we're doing negative, so it just rotates the other direction. But then this time I'm going to rotate it on the x-axis math.pi times 0.1-ish. I don't know if I want that negative or positive. I think I want it positive, I think, because I want it like to be leaning this way. So we're gonna bring it much more negative on the x, quite a bit. Should I 0.75? The y we can probably leave alone. Maybe we want to bring it down. Let's bring it down. And then the z we're gonna bring forward, which again I'm not 100% sure. I guess we'd want to bring this down, yeah. So we'll bring that to like 0.8. And I'll leave the scale and stuff alone. Okay. Okay. I guess I didn't rotate on the right axis, or our order of rotations is wrong. Maybe it's the, I guess it would be the z-axis actually. Yeah, it would be. I mean, I could rotate on the x too. I mean, we could do anything we want here, but what I was going for was more like this, but rotating this way instead. And there's a bit of clipping, which is a bit shitty, but let's rotate it the right direction now. There's still probably going to be a lot of clipping, but we can figure that out in a second. Wait, is that not the right axis? Oh, this is confusing. Okay, maybe the rotation order is wrong. Yeah, maybe the rotation order is wrong. Maybe we want to do, probably doing, what's it, the default's probably XYZ, so let's change the route order. I guess I'll throw it here. It's kind of a shitty place. We're going to do Z, I guess Y, X. We're not using X, so the order for X shouldn't matter. Oops, and I need my comma. I forgot my comma. There we go. And surprisingly, no real clipping. Now I want to bring that back further. I just want it to be coming out of the corner. So on the x-axis, we want to make that more negative. Try 2.25. Yeah, 2.25. And I maybe want to rotate more, maybe want to change things with the scale. I'm not really sure, but we will figure that out. Okay, kind of like that. Yeah, there's clipping that I don't really want. Yeah, I don't love it. I like the idea of it in my head a lot more than it actually turned out. Maybe I'll just get rid of it. Maybe I'll bring it back further. Maybe, I don't know. Let's rotate it more. I'm going to bring it back further and rotate it more. Whoa, I rotated that way more than I thought I was going to. Huh, why is that? Did I really? Okay, that much of a difference, huh? I mean, I guess it is off of math.pi, which is 180 degrees, so I guess it makes sense. Yeah, because that would be 45 degrees, and that does make sense. I should probably be doing it off of half pi, not full pi. Why is this not updating how I was expecting? Oh, did I not do a delete? Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. All right, I don't know if it really needs more trees anyway. I'm just fucking around with things and seeing what looks nice. Probably doesn't need that. I wouldn't mind like another tree just really close. Let's just, maybe we'll even put another insect on it, but I don't want it to look too samey with what we already have. All right, let's get rid of this rotation for now, which means we don't really need that raw order variable, but we'll leave it there for now. Scale, let's bring it up. This is probably not the best idea because it's probably going to result in a lot of clipping. Okay, I'm going to bring it a lot closer as well. Okay. No clipping yet, which is a little bit of clipping. I can fix that though by changing how much we clamp the model. Probably. Tiniest bit of clipping. I don't know how necessary that tree even is, but. And I'm about to make the clipping worse. I'm going to bring the scale up. I can fix this though. It's okay. All right, that's kind of cool because like other than a little bit of clipping, you know, you don't really see it, but then if you like look at it in a more 3D way, you see more stuff on the side. So I kind of like that. All right, if I change how much I'm clamping that model, really I should just be deleting vertices and stuff. I'm doing this a bit stupid. I'm grabbing an actual tree model and like clamping it with some constraints on their X, Y, and Z's. I know it's pretty shit, but can I get this smaller? Maybe. Yeah, I think I can. As long as it's not breaking the branches, which I think it is, so maybe I can't. Damn. All right, if it's over a certain amount, I should just like be clearing them. I should do a. Oh, but then those. Where are those branches coming from? Shit. How do I want to handle this? Change the rotation. I just want to say if that is if the y-axis is over, I don't know what number I want here, but let's just say 6-ish, 8, 10. Let's just say 8. Then we just want to like clamp these all down to 0. So we'll just like have a s variable here. And let's just have it var, whoops, var s for scale. That's what I'm calling that. And then just multiply all these times s. All right, that gets rid of the leaves, which is nice. I want this to work so bad. I want to have like a big tree right there. I'm probably going to end up using a slightly different model eventually anyway, because this is a lower poly than what I want long term, because it's like kind of like very square like of a model. What's going on inside that tree? I don't know. I don't really even need this here, but I want it. It almost works. It's so close to looking good, but maybe I'll just get rid of it. It's not necessary, and it's too hard to get it to look nice. Can rotate it differently, and it might help a lot. Let's rotate it 180 degrees. So close. Alright, fuck it. We don't need that tree. I was doing too much weird shit with that anyway. It looks good enough. Alright, yeah. I mean, that's good enough for now. It needs a little bit of tweaking, but I'm not going to do everything right now on stream. I do want to fill these up with some sort of tree type thing. How I'm going to go about it exactly, I haven't fully figured out. Let's see. How do I want this to work? We could do like a big oak tree, which I think I've tried, and I think I could do that. I'm probably gonna end up swapping the model a little bit eventually because excuse me, tired. I'm modeling my trunks lower poly than I want to for the museums, at least in game. I mean they're still kind of lower poly than I want, but it's just, you know, a whole efficiency thing. I do like this wall of insects. Once we get that looking fully done, I think that'll be cool. Like a giant, the full wall be covered in all the types of insects you're doing and have blank areas for ones you haven't done yet. I think that'll look really cool. I think you could zoom into each one and get information about them and stuff. It's too bad it's shoved into a back room though. I kind of feel like it should be more like right there. So maybe we'll get rid of this doorway and just have it along this wall, but I don't know if it's big enough. But if it's not, we can maybe make it, I don't know. Well, maybe it would be fine. It depends on how many insects I add to the game. Could always make it a little bit taller. We can get rid of this support beam just here in between the columns. We can leave it, you know, over here, but just in the center, get rid of it. We can get rid of those windows even, but the problem making it too tall is that it's kind of weird for a player scale kind of thing where the player is about that height of the doorway or whatever, a little bit shorter than that, and for them to go all the way up because, like, you know, it's not very realistic that you place them where people can't really see them. In theory, if I wanted to use this wall still though, and I ran out of room, I can get rid of these columns, I can get rid of these displays. It looks kind of nice in the back room, it's just that it looks so nice that you want to see it more than it being hidden away in the back room as well. I don't know. It's probably fine. I don't have to be too picky about it because we could always make changes with this in the future. This looks way better than the beginning of the stream though, this display, like way better. It still needs work, but it's way better. All right, here, let's try, I should probably just make a custom model in Blender. What I really wish I could do is get a base model from my engine, bring it into Blender, and base it off of that, right? The issue is I can export these arrays and stuff, right, of positions and vertex colors and UVs and stuff, but I can't import them into Blender. I don't have like a engine to PLY converter. I have a PLY to engine converter. If it, maybe even with indices, maybe I could get away with it. If I have indices and everything, which I guess I would, we can grab a PLY file and convert it. In theory, let's look at a PLY file real quick. I don't know if this is something I really want to do, but if I'm just curious exactly how they're formatted, because we've done this a long time ago. Let's just see what we're working with. I guess we'll grab, I don't know, the display. Why? Windows, fuck off. How do you do this? You have to like, Fuck that. That's so stupid. Maybe I shouldn't choose this file because it's got a lot of polygon stuff, but is it even gonna open? Hello? Fucking Windows piece of shit. I hate Windows so fucking much. Why would it not open? Open with. I could do this on my Mac. Sublime text. Oh, fuck off. File. Open file. Okay, that works though. Windows open with feature. It's broken as shit. Okay, whatever. So we have some numbers here which we might need, which kind of sucks to try to figure out. I guess those are the amount of vertices and this is the amount of faces. That doesn't seem right. Maybe it's right. Oh, excuse me. And then these are our indices, I guess, and maybe positions and UVs, but then where are colors? Unless colors are here too. And then these are like vertex groups, like faces. So this face is a face of 3 vertices, and these are the indices for those vertices. I believe that's what I'm looking at here. However, or maybe those are colors. No, they're not colors. All right. So I kind of see everything here other than colors. Unless the colors are in here, but no. So that would be, are these colors? Oh, maybe those are colors. Okay. Yeah, I guess they are. They're basically, I don't see anything above 255. Okay. So this is a list of all of our, right. So each one of these is an index, right? So that'll be index 0, 1, 2, 3, I suppose. And then it has 2 of these are UVs and 3 of them are positions. I'm guessing this is, yeah, this is positions. This is UVs. This is colors. And then at the end, we say for each of the faces, you know, it's 3 and then which index they're at. That's annoying to have to convert back into a file like this. We could do it. I mean, this part would be easy. Just spitting out position, UV, color. But the issue is we also have to figure out the right numbers for these because Blender needs to interpret those correctly. And then building this shit here is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. If we didn't have indices at all and just had them all separated, which we could do in theory, then everything would just be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, you know, and so on and so on. Even that, you'd still have to generate it to be like the right length and everything without throwing an error, which isn't the worst. But I think they are using indices right now, which makes it a little bit more complicated. But I wish you could just throw in arrays of positions and stuff. Even if it didn't have the colors and UVs, even though it'd be nice if it had the colors and UVs, but just throw in an array and build all the positions there, even if they're just a point map, which is not what I want, but just something. Okay, well, let's just put a tree in there, which I've done in the past. So that's in here. And here I have it just commented out. This is just using an actual oak tree for my engine. And we don't want to use the, like, we'll use a procedural model, but there'll be a baked in procedural model basically. Because if we use them based off the player's seed, they'd be different for every player's game. And then putting insect placements on those would be very difficult to do in a predictable manner. Okay, so this is not using the right shader or anything, but this would be an actual just full tree spawn there for each of these. It's also doing it for the tiny ones, which is not exactly something I want. Maybe I'll have a conditional there to say a type of them or a scale of them and treat them differently. So if I use my static dynamic shader on these, I might be able to billboard the leaves properly, which would be nice. It'd be cool to have one for different times of year, so we could have like an autumn one and a summer one here, or something like that. Probably very few winter ones, because there probably won't be a lot of insects in the wintry type times of year and biomes. So not really like snowy things. Can't really think of too many insects that are in the winter time. Okay. Let's try to have the shader work on those, which I kind of don't think is going to work just right out the bat. It'd be really nice if it will, but if I just call static dynamic on this shader, I don't think it's just going to work magically. So let's change program ID on them. I highly doubt this will work. I guess I'll space this out while I'm working on it. Okay, program ID is going to be static dynamic. I don't think I have an underscore for that one, but I'll just make sure. No, okay. So it should be good. I wonder if it, well, let's just see what happens. If this works, it'll be really nice. Oh, right, I don't have to do that anymore. I can do this. Okay, so that broke a lot. Why'd that break so much? I should only break this entity, but apparently it breaks everything. So if I just comment this line out and try it again. Man, I didn't really expect it to work, because I know that shader is pretty broken. I guess it makes sense for her to break that much. Alright, so it is that that's breaking it. I guess it's like all the draws after it or something. I don't know. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about that. In theory, we don't even need the billboarding. In theory, I don't even want the billboarding. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice in some ways, because it'd be more similar to how you actually see it in the outside world. But since it has to like fit inside a glass box and everything, and you don't want them billboarding outside the glass walls or anything, it'd be nicer to just do them in a much more controlled way where the vertices don't really move around. I wonder if there's a way I can fade those darker towards the back and top more easily. I'm being too picky about it. In fact, if I got rid of some of the background gradient on this, it wouldn't be as bad. It's mostly due to the shitty background gradient. Let's do that real quick. Go into vertex paint. And if we grab the darker color and paint it all of that, something similar to that darker color. Still might be too bright, but we'll see. It's still pretty damn bright. Can't get all of it. There we go. Wait, one more. Yeah, I think I want to make that even darker. which means I'm gonna have to make the leaves darker, which is kind of a pain, but gotta do what you gotta do. Maybe I don't even have to, but I probably should. Add that to the palette. Try to do a smooth vertex colors, I guess, on the whole thing. All right. That may work out. Hopefully I didn't make this worse. Okay, I mean, it's kind of cool. There's definitely has more of that dark gradient on the leaves. The background, it's okay. It's greener now. I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. I like that the leaves definitely, you can see that darkening though of the gradient on the leaves much more now. It probably needs a lot more work. It needs to have less solid of a background. In theory, we can maybe do that with some sort of texturing. It'd be nice to, let's go in this really quick and just, I guess I want to try to do an unwrap on this. I'll do a project from view. I probably should do that with the orthographic projection, but let's just see how this goes. If we grabbed and did a background like that, it's gonna change the color to a bit more orangey, which isn't really what we want. No, it's not gonna look great. And this is gonna add some weird brightness. That could almost work, but at the same time, not at all. It's gonna do weird stuff to it. You get like weird bright areas. How did this choose to unwrap? What are we dealing with here? Whoops. Just don't really have a good texture for this. In theory, I can just do this one, just have a bit speckled, but it might be too contrasty of a texture. Maybe. Those are pretty stretched out. Which face are those? That would be like wanting to drag out these ones, I think. Yeah. That's a bit better, which is why I probably should do an orthographic projection again, but it's not the end of the world. Might be okay. It's probably gonna look way too textured. I can't tell which side. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so it is orientated correctly, it looks. Yes. We could try that. It's probably gonna look like shit. More like vertical bars, that might be a bit better. Yeah, you know what, that probably is a bit better. Look like trees or something in the background. You can do a very subtle texture over here. That's probably too subtle. One's too contrasty, one's not contrasty enough. That might be okay. There's gonna be weird stretching up on top though. What am I doing? Alright, I'll stick to this one. Hopefully the weird stretching is not too weird. I'm sure it will be. We can try to mitigate that. It's like these faces here. If we brought them inward, it's hard to see what's going on when I select it. Alright, I guess that's better. Yeah, I stretched those too far. Kind of don't want any texturing on the bottom because it's gonna fuck up where the grass is. I wonder if I just like scaled that down all the way and got it to a color that matches it well. Still not gonna work out so great. I'd have to scale all this down, which is gonna probably fuck up my walls then, right? Yeah. Alright, whatever, we'll try it, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be happy with it. I already don't like it, but I guess I'll try it in Engine. Alright. God damn, it's so ugly. It's close to what I'm going for, but at the same time, so far. Alright, export it. Fuck it. Maybe it'll look great. You know, maybe it will be. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Although the bottom to floor colors I'm very concerned about. Maybe I shouldn't have done so much green. Maybe I should have stuck to the grayer, bluey background that we had before. It's like a gray, brown, green, blue, which is a bunch of colors I know, but that's the best way I could describe that color that we had. I mean, it's not really helping, but it's not really hurting. So I guess I'll leave it. I kind of want to still really change those vertex colors like really badly. I wish you can select vertices instead of, maybe you can, but I don't know how. Select vertices instead of faces in this vertex paint mode. So like I can just alter just this vertex right here. But I don't know how to do that. There might not be a way. I don't even know if it's putting this color on correctly. Wait, if I do this, that'll be better. That's so much better. I still can't fully tell what's getting painted correctly, but I think that's right. Except right there, that's wrong. Can't get that one. God damn it. Paint it. Fucking. Did it paint it? Maybe? I think it did. Is that everything? So I made it much grayer now, which might look better. That's what we had before. It's darker, which is good, but I went a little bit more towards the gray blue side of things. So now that's going to be part of display. All right, whatever. I mean, it's a change. Whether or not it's a good change, hard to say. I'm gonna stop fucking with that. I need to change some stuff about how we model this, because like the staircase here obviously needs some sort of thing covering up this like shitty facade area. Then obviously these glass boxes need work. I need to do something with these back rooms. Now these rooms on the side, what I was thinking of doing is instead of, I can't really change the lighting in here. Instead of having it so like they're in their own display, I want it to be kind of like a walk-in display where it's like kind of a pathway through the biome that you're in for this part of the museum. I don't know what biome would be, but like it'd be like a pathway through a rainforest, so it actually has like full size everything around you. And it has a little path that you can walk on. I think that'd be cool for some of the museum. I'm not really sure how I do it yet and how it's all going to work out. Maybe even have like a proper like butterfly room where butterflies are actually flying around and stuff. Not really sure. But that'd be cool. Yeah, my best idea, if they're not moving around, just to have it so you're like actually within the biome. Just a small area, probably a little bit bigger than this. But within double this size. I might want it to be further back. And then I guess I'll have it so it loops the path around back to the beginning, or has a second exit. But it'll probably just loop back. I don't know. We can have an entrance on this side, have it go all the way through, and then have like displays on the outside here, and then loop out onto this side. That would work. I don't know. We will see. Also, I'm curious if I did do windows, which I might want to do so it looks a little bit more like outdoors. I think it would, if I'm careful about the order of these things, I think it would get rid of all, like, so like I can't see all that stuff through the window, which I don't want to. But if I were to actually clip outside of it, you know, you see a bunch of, a bunch of stuff, right? You can see rooms through it and everything. But we don't want to see that through the windows, obviously. So if I'm careful about it, I might be able to have nice tall windows to make it look a little bit more like natural outdoors area, like a little biosphere type thing, and you won't see all of this garbage through there. Should I just disable this tree for now, since I don't know what I'm doing with this display? What could we do? Just have a tree I make in Blender. I could do a spruce tree and that'd be easy enough, but that wouldn't work well for the insect placements because we want to have like different branches and stuff. I'm probably just going to do a complete custom tree with a bunch of nice detailed low down branches to have different insects on. Or we just don't do a tree, we do something else, but I don't know what else. Be easier for other types of museums. Maybe we shouldn't even have these glass boxes in the insect museum. I'm not really sure. Like for other types, it's easy enough. I think it's hard to say for sure, but like maybe like, you know, like a dinosaur skeleton fossil thing would work, or you know, some sort of display like that, like a larger animal. Not really sure. Yeah, the best thing I can think of for these glass boxes, even though I don't know if I'd want this many anyway, is just to have some sort of plant to have them on. We could have some rocks on the bottom and have some insects on rocks, the ones that would be more realistically on rocks, you know, to where they spend their time in real life. I'm not sure how I do it in shaders, but I could do stuff with water, so like fill it with water, but there's not a lot of insects for underwater really, unless I don't know, because like technically for like entomology, like underwater crustaceans, does that fall under entomology? I'd still probably put them in the aquarium type museum type thing anyway, and not the insect museum. But yeah, I don't know what to fill with them. I just have like a display of a bunch of different insects. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'd want to do. I could have it so we just have like a wire frame type, like kind of like this, where we just have them all aligned, but like not on anything natural, just like on a very structured thing. I don't know. I should work on the door placement bug, but I don't know if I'm doing that right now. Um, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do next. It's kind of all I wanted to do in this stream anyway. Um, and not a lot of people are watching. It says 0 on Restream, but I think it shows 2 on Twitch. I don't know why the Restream thing shows a different number than Twitch, but it's kind of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break. I may come back later. But for anyone that did watch, thank you very much. I got stuff to do. I know the stream schedule and stuff has been weird lately, but I'll try my best to do a nighttime stream like most people end up watching, or try to build an audience up at this time. I'm not really sure. But I'll try to stream again soon. Sorry for the bit of a short stream. But I'll see you all soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.